start, well, always start on the bottom, and then you just work your way up.
This is called effleurage. And she's noticed warming her oil before she goes, and as she does her big full stroke, she's making sure that she's getting the entire leg. She has good pressure, and then do you notice, Vanessa, that she lightens up behind your knee?
Yeah.
So right behind the knee is called the popliteal fossa. You want to make sure that you don't, the pressure you use on your calves and the pressure you use on her hamstrings is not the pressure you're using on the back of her knees. Okay, does everyone understand that? So you have pretty good pressure, you lighten up, and then you go back down again, because you don't want to do a lot of deep.
Are you recording?
I am. That way you can watch this later if you want. I'm just going to show you her legs.
No, doesn't it give you more leverage?
It does. It gives you better leverage. Just don't go through that foot though. Don't finish your stroke. Don't shortchange it. So I'm trying to get her to cover everything, okay? Now, the reason why she probably doesn't go through the foot is because she probably sits down and does the foot later. But for you guys, for purposes of initially learning, I want to make sure you go through the entire foot, okay? Notice that her hands are flat and she kind of follows. She has a very specific stroke. Now, she can change that. She doesn't have to do it exactly. Maybe that time both hands go down, or it's not like rigid that you have to do it that way. She also can put one hand on top of the other hand and just go to the knee, just like she's doing. So why don't you go ahead. And this way, when she puts one hand on top of the other, like you just did, she can actually go deeper there, and look at how big and bulky those muscles are. Those are your gastroc muscles. Gastrocnemius is the name. There's actually two heads of them. So she can first head up the medial side, and then she can do the lateral side of it. Okay, so that's the lateral. And now do the medial. And now there she does the medial. And that's a big, bulky muscle. It does a lot for us. So people usually have really good musculature there. So if you don't press or put a little body into that, people aren't going to feel like you're really loosening that muscle. She can switch over to do a soft fist. Yep, she can switch over to a fist, and this is again something she might want to use for a deeper pressure, because now you have your fist, and we call it a soft fist. How she's doing it there. How you doing, Vanessa?
I'm good.
Yeah. And notice that she doesn't ever what I call choo-choo train the stroke. So she's not like a choo-choo train where she goes up the track and back down the same way. She goes up and then she drops to the side. In the leg, because it's just funky, we don't go to the middle of the thigh. You can petrissage it, you can work on it, we just don't ever drop to it. Another variation of effleurage would be to, and you guys don't have to practice this today, but just so that you can see it, is to progress into a forearm stroke. So she's gone now from a flat hand to a soft fist, and now she can actually use a forearm stroke. Yep, use your other, use your left. Yeah, yeah. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I did it. You're right. Go ahead.
There's not really much muscles though on the back of the knee. Right? It's like a big nerve area.
Yep, that's why she'll lighten up there.
Forearm, right?
Yep, she's doing a forearm. And she's also going to now drop and use her elbow towards the outside to get that whole side of that. And then she's just going to brush back easy. She's not even going to do it again. If you notice, she puts her other hand, stay right there for a second. She puts her other hand on top of her hand, and that's to cue her to keep her hand relaxed, okay? We want to be as relaxed as we can. We want to look how nice our mechanics are. We want to make sure that we're in a really good position and that our hands are relaxed and we're relaxed. This way now, as she goes ahead and moves into her stroke, see how her hand is nice and relaxed? She can kind of control it, right? And look at how much, it's a very broad stroke now. She gets to cover the whole thing, and she'll just feather back. So with the petrissage stroke, you notice that she kind of turned her body towards, she's changed her stance a little bit. She has both feet, and she's kind of shifting back and forth. And then here, she's lifting, grabbing, and lifting. And her stroke is a lot faster, wouldn't you say? It's also extremely rhythmic, but she can change speeds too if she wants. So go ahead and do it slow.
Is this the milking thing?
This is called petrissage, yep. Yep, and she's making sure she's getting the whole thing. And then go ahead and do it at the Achilles tendon. Oh yeah, and she wants to show you, yeah, she has other things that she does here. So she does a cross finger rub right around the bottom.
They also kind of have to be careful of the Achilles area because there's a big lot of nerves down there too.
Yeah, we're pretty deep at the Achilles because it's a pretty tough tendon.
Okay.
Yeah, and it takes all the weight of our body, so people need that stretched and need that worked. But see how she switched her petrissage to fingers?
Cross fingers and then fingers.
And why don't you come up to the hamstring? So things we like to petrissage the whole muscle belly, but we also like to go to where it inserts on the different tendons that it inserts, like the Achilles tendon, so that you can really loosen up some of those attachments. And everyone can see how good she looks. Does everyone agree her mechanics look?
Yes.
I will tell you, unfortunately, Deybellis always massaged this way. She was one of those people that just looked good right from day one. So she wasn't someone that had to work at the mechanics. Most people have to work at the mechanics. It seems like, I bet Jacob doesn't have to. For some reason, the younger they are, the better their mechanics are. It's almost something to do with just their strength.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
You know.
I know, right?